Okay, welcome back. If you are viewing this, most likely you're absent or you were absent the day that we covered it. Okay, regardless, the good news is I got you. And today is the day that you missed something about populism. So we'll get the whole thing. Again, these are all posted just for you all. It's not commercial or anything like that. They're just to help. Okay, so let's first talk about to understand populism and the populist movement of 1892. You have to know what the word populism means. What is a populist? Okay, I want you to look at that word, populism. It looks like the word popular, popular. Okay, so it is a political approach where you are trying to win over the ordinary people. You're a popular, everyday, working class candidate, you know, who is unbothered by the concerns of the elites. And we've seen several populist candidates, even in the 2016 election. Donald Trump is considered a populist candidate. You know, that's how he won supporters. So the same thing will happen here in this part of history, the late 1800s, with the Populist Party. And again, they are a group who represented popular opinion. And what I had said was, it's your common working man. All right, well, check this out, folks. Back in that day, your everyday common man, mostly for certain regions, is a farmer. If you don't live near a city and you are a quote unquote working man, you're a farmer, right? Okay. So this farmers group started out called the Grangers. The Grangers. They weren't necessarily political. They were just a group, I guess you could say political activists, and they wanted more government control over big business. These farmers were being mistreated by railroad companies who overcharged them to ship crops and yields across the United States. So kind of got funny with the money on the farmers, the railroad people. And the storage companies did the same thing. They overcharged even if you had a surplus, especially if you had a surplus. Okay. Another thing that the Grangers wanted was the free coinage of silver. Okay. There's an abundance of silver where they lived. As you know, gold was more valuable than silver at the time. We'll get into the math in a moment. But the bottom line is this, folks, for these farmers, these Grangers, who will later become populists, they wanted silver to be worth more than it was, and that would help them get out of debt and make more money. So it's not surprising that they want to vote for something that's going to make them more wealthy. Okay, so again, here's the exchange rate. Could be wrong. You can double check these numbers, but basically what it was the populists wanted silver to double in value. That was their goal. Okay, if silver backed the money supply, it would cause prices of crops to increase. And if you're a farmer, if you're a Granger, if you're a populist, you want that. All right. And the current gold standard, by the way, this right here, okay, the current exchange rate, rather, the way we had gold set up back then, it only benefited wealthy, industrial city people, factory owners, railroad businessmen, storage companies, the same people who basically are hated by the Populist Party. Okay, if you're a farmer, you don't like those people, okay, and they are your opposition. Okay, so to make a long story short, they made their own political party called the Populist Party, just like the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or whatever. This was the Populist Party, and their leader was William Jennings Bryan. He ran for president in 1896, but not as a populist. Okay, it turned out the populists just didn't have the support and didn't have the money to get it out there and campaign. So what did they do? They let the Democrats take them over. Democrats said, hey, we like all of your ideas. You can just all become Democrats and we'll run with the same stuff. We'll fight for silver. We'll let you run William Jennings Bryan, you know, as a Democrat. So they did precisely that. But he lost that election to Republican William McKinley. Okay, here is some imagery of both gentlemen. Okay, now even though the Populists lost, we still consider them somewhat successful in their endeavors. They didn't win the presidency, but things happened down the road later that really stand out and show they made a difference. Okay, for example, in the long run, they gave a more of a voice to less fortunate voters. Also, they paved the way for something that will happen later in history called the Progressive Movement. Okay. And I did not tell y'all this, but there were some other things that the Populist Party, kind of advocated for, I guess. They advocated for more of a graduated income tax. If you make a whole lot of money, the government takes more of your check than somebody who makes less. The more you make, the more they take. It was the Populists who advocated for that, and it later became a law. They also advocated for the direct election of senators. We did not even used to choose our own lawmakers by state. And so the Populists fought for that. That's how the 17th Amendment got passed. They also fought for shorter work weeks, and we have that today. So again, the Populists, quote unquote, lost the election. But look, I just told you that there's a lot of good stuff that they were successful in. So forget the election. Just look at this list. And in my opinion, they were very successful. All right. So that covers the Populist movement of the late 1800s, and we will talk again later.